1857. The single greatest shock to the British Empire, ever. For one bloody year, the empire where the sun never set, teetered on the brink of collapse. But what if it did? What if the rebels of 1857 didn't just shake the empire? They shattered it. How would your world be different today? First, let's look at the reality. 1857 wasn't a mutiny. It was a revolution. It was millions of sepoys, kings, queens, and farmers rising as one. Figures like Mangal Pandey, Rani Lakshmibai, Bahadur Shah Zafar, Tatya Tope, and Kunwar Singh became legends. But the uprising was fragmented. There was no single leader, no unified strategy. And that fragmentation, it cost them everything. But let's change just one thing. Let's create a point of divergence. We go to Delhi, June 1857, inside the Red Fort during the siege. In our timeline, it was a scene of arguments and disorganization. But in this new history, the aging Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Zafar, does what he failed to do before. He stands and appoints a singular, decisive war council, a unified military command with brilliant tacticians like Tatya Tope and Bakht Khan. Strategy is coordinated. Messages are sent. The effect is immediate. Tatya Tope's forces from Kanpur link up with Lakshmibai's from Jhansi. Crucially, Sikh regiments, still remembering the betrayal of the Anglo-Sikh wars, switch sides and join the march on Delhi. The British line, stretched thin and now facing a united front, finally breaks. By 1859, the unthinkable happens. The East India Company is dissolved, not by Parliament, but by outright military defeat. The British withdraw from the subcontinent. 90 years early, India is free. So what happens next? India doesn't become one monolithic empire under a single ruler. That wasn't the goal. Instead, it becomes a confederation of Indian states. Imagine a grand court, a darbar, but instead of a single throne, there's a round table. Rani Lakshmibai, Nana Sahib, Sikh leaders, and southern princes all sit as equals. It's a united front for defense and trade, but with deep respect for regional autonomy. A subcontinental version of the United States. And with this unity, the most devastating British policy, divide and rule, never gets a chance to fester. The seeds of partition are never sown. There is no Pakistan. There is no Bangladesh. Just one colossal, unimaginably diverse Indian superstate, stretching from Kabul to Burma. The horrific violence and displacement of 1947 simply never happen. Without the British systematically draining an estimated $45 trillion in wealth from the subcontinent, India industrializes on its own terms. Its vast resources are used for its own people. By the year 1900, India isn't a struggling colony. It's an industrial rival to Great Britain itself. Indian engineers are building railways for India, not for British profit. Textile mills in Bombay and Ahmedabad are more advanced than those in Manchester. Indian-made steamships are plying the world's oceans. This economic power has a profound human impact. The catastrophic famines, like the Bengal famine of 1943 or the Orissa famine, are erased from history. A sovereign India, managing its own food resources and investing in modern irrigation, prevents these man-made disasters, saving tens of millions of lives. Now let's fast forward to the 20th century. When World War I breaks out, India doesn't send 1 million soldiers to fight for its colonial master. It participates as a powerful, independent ally, negotiating its terms and its role on the world stage. Indian generals stand alongside Allied commanders in strategy meetings. By World War II, it's not just Indian soldiers, but Indian-made tanks rolling into battle. So when the war ends in 1945, India isn't a nation begging for freedom. It's a global superpower, a founding member of the United Nations, and a permanent member of the Security Council. What does our world look like today in this alternate timeline? The Indian subcontinent is a unified nation of 2 billion people. It's the world's largest economy. The rupee is a global reserve currency. Conflicts like the one over Kashmir never ignite. The skyline of a hypermodern Indian megacity dwarfs New York and Shanghai. The 21st century wouldn't be a race between the US and China. It would be, unequivocally, the Indian century, and it would have begun way back in 1857. The rebels of 1857 didn't win in our history books. Their fight was tragically cut short, but their incredible courage planted an unshakable idea that Indians could and should rule themselves. And maybe that's the real lesson here. History isn't just about what happened. It's about what could have been. It's a reminder of the immense potential that was always there, and more importantly, it's about what still could be. That fight for a better future didn't end in 1857. It just changed forms. From the freedom struggle to the challenges of today, the spirit lives on. And now, the responsibility to build that stronger, more prosperous, and more united India. Well, that falls to us. What future will you help build? Thanks for watching Jai Shri Dunia.